Earlier this year, most of us received a news from developer Smilegate that Lost Ark, the isometric ARPG like Diablo, will not be coming to the West. And to be honest, it did hurt a little. You see a lot of games like this, they never come to NA or Europe till the game has ran its course, much like Bless Online. And another thing for me is that it was a little bit much crazy because another game that I was watching got delayed till February, and that was Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. Good news though, my friend Core Jumper just reminded me that the early access game will be releasing on the 13th of February, so I decided I will take this time out to tell you guys about Wolcen. I mean, who am I to assume that you guys have a date for Valentine's Day? Hello everyone, it's DA here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you are doing fantastic. So what is Wolcen Lords of Mayhem? Well, Wolcen is an isometric ARPG with class independence, co-op, and some matchmaking. It's a game where you can build and level up regardless of your class. One of the things that drew me closer to Wolcen is the matchmaking component especially. So even if you have completed a location or you are new in the game, you might be willing to lend a hand to a new player you encounter, almost in a sandbox MMO style of play. Now, the game is fairly new, so you cannot expect the type of content that you will see in already established IPs like Path of Exile or Diablo. Wolcen has something different that separates it from a lot of Western comparisons as well. The setting is almost like a mixture of Warhammer and Dragon Age Origins, and because the classes are not locked, you could evolve and experiment with several combinations of weapons, powers, or builds. The interface is quite familiar to a lot of us who have played this type of games before, but it is also robust enough to separate itself from a lot of comparisons. You can have a crazy combination of armor pieces, such as wearing a different one on your right arm versus your left arm. It still utilizes the gem socketing system that we've seen in other games, but it also has a way of making them work as great modifiers for your passive and your active abilities. Movement is quite fast here, and you will be able to use dodge and roll mechanics, which is quite rare in this genre itself. Most of the time you just turn around and run away if an enemy is trying to attack you. However, in Wolcen you will be able to use dodge and roll, which will be making use of your stamina bar. Now, in terms of difficulty, or let's say endgame, there are modifiers to beef up the enemy difficulty and increase your loot. The developers also promised that the game will release with 3 acts, a max level of 90, 40 skills with about 16 modifiers, more than 75 enemy types and variations, 21 subclasses in a passive tree, armor tiers for variation of builds such as tank, warrior, rogue, mage. There is no gender locking, and there is character creation and many more polish before the game releases. So this is a game with a lot of potential, and for a lot of people, even myself, I like to start off with the game when the game is still brand new or when it's still fresh or within its first year. In terms of looks, this is a nice addition to the subgenre. The game is using the Cry engine, so it looks gorgeous even in its isometric form. Now, I won't sit here and tell you that this game will have as much content as Diablo or Path of Exile. As I explained earlier, it is still fairly new after all. The selling point for me is going to be that the game is a slight change in scenery, and the story crafted around that world is also quite unique. So if you are someone like me who is not too happy about losing Lost Ark for several years, at $30 you might actually find that gem or something that you were looking for in this subgenre. Overall, this game is highly positive on Steam even right now, so that's a great start to begin with. You can watch some of the reviews from early access players and see what you think about it, and even when it comes out, you can wait and see what people think about the release version of the game as well. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. Now, before we go, I want you guys to know that this is only possible with contributions from viewers like you. So thank you. I appreciate that. I'll see you in the next one.